Hello and welcome to Chit Chat and All That with me, Amanda Prowse.
And me, Penny Dommett. Thank you for joining us for your weekly dose of chatter. We'll be talking about all the things that we usually discuss around the kitchen table.
A diverse range of topics that we hope will give you a chuckle-worthy moment or maybe something to reflect on. And you can, of course, catch up on all previous episodes from wherever you get your podcasts.
So yes, give us a like, press the subscribe, follow button, pull up a chair, and welcome to you.
It's become a moment of anticipation.
It has, and I worry about saying subscribe.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you think you always will? It'll always be like...
You've ruined it for me.
How often did you say the word subscribe before?
Never.
No, see?
Never.
Now?
Yes, now. You make me
Weekly.
say it. Yes.
That's so funny. Have you had a nice week, Pen?
It's actually been a very lovely week. I mean, I really feel we're getting into the stride of better weather. So that's wonderful.
I love it when you come over. It's like I don't need to look at any weather apps. You're like a weather vane crossed with... If Michael Fish in a weather vane had a baby... Oh, and McVitie's. Do they make custard creams?
I don't know. But yes, I am not dressed as a custard cream today.
Oh, you're off the top half, just saying, but there we go.
I'm a bit oatmeal-y.
Oh, oatmeal. More of an oatmeal raisin cookie.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So this will make you laugh. I had to get my nails done this week. As you know, it's a new thing for me, getting nails done. I'm glam.
Yeah.
Glam is the word.
For me, getting my nails done just means getting the mud out from underneath them.
And not always successfully, I can confirm.
No.
So I went to get my nails done, and lovely Becky, who does my nails, she said... This is absolutely hilarious because she said, you know, sometimes you get dressed up when you're going out. I said, yeah. She said, I got dressed up and I had on like a gold and white shimmery, I think it was trousers, I can't remember, with a stripe up the side. And then I had this top on. She said, I looked in the mirror and thought, oh no, I look like Penny, I look like a custard cream. She said I had to get changed.
It's not a bad thing looking like me.
Nobody said it was. Nobody said it was. Particularly if you're looking for something to dunk in your tea. But she said, yeah, she thought she'd gone full custard cream, so she got changed. So you're spreading a trend, Pen.
Actually, the thing is, with the summer coming on, I will look even more like a custard cream most days because my summer wardrobe is just mainly white, cream, white. White cream.
Total
Unless
custard
I'm
cream
working.
then. Yeah.
In which case it's
White
jeans,
cream, dots of mud.
Yeah.
And your hat.
Yes, and my hat.
Because you look like an ice road trucker when you're not a custard cream. It's kind of the two ends of a spectrum, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's because I spend my life in filthy, dirty clothes most of the time.
Okay.
And consequently, then when I do actually know that I'm not going to be going anywhere near mud, I think, right, I'm going to wear white. I'm going to wear
Because I
cream.
can.
Because I can. And then I'm sort of making sure I don't touch anything.
Anything ever. I like that. That's very funny. So I've been getting a little bit into TikTok, Pen.
Tell me what that is. I don't know.
TikTok. So essentially, a few weeks ago now, I had the privilege of going to what my publisher called TikTok Author House. And I was petrified. So I got invited to this beautiful house in Chichester. And it was me and 4 other authors and a whole host of content creators. I didn't know what that was either. So bear with, I can tell by your face. Content what? And I was really nervous because I thought, is TikTok for me? I don't know what it is. You hear all these horror stories about, it being spyware and stuff. And what's the point of it? So I was kind of a bit sceptical and incredibly nervous because, as you know, my technical ability is not high.
Nil.
Coming from you, Penny, I think that's very worrying because if you think it's not, my God. So yeah, not good. But the house was beautiful and it was really lovely. And what I've basically learned is, when you're on a bus or in a library or a garden centre in your case,
yes,
or nursery, and you meet people who are like-minded and they go, oh, you're looking at the Amaryllis dubadada.
Yes.
That's a Latin name.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, yes, I love it. Have you seen it in full bloom? Which colour is your favourite? And you start talking about the boring detail.
Yes.
Not boring to you, but boring to everyone who has to listen to you.
Yes.
It was like that. And this book talk community is absolutely huge.
Book talk. Explain that. I don't know what a book talk is.
Okay, so essentially on TikTok, there is subdivisions. So that could be book talk or plant talk or dog talk or cat talk.
So I can have garden talk.
I've made those up, but I'm sure they're things.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And essentially anyone with that interest is sort of posting under that hashtag. And so to be in a room of people who are just obsessed with books and writing process was like just incredible. And these content creators, this young group of women who were, I don't want to sound patronising, I think the average age was probably mid-late 20s. Such wisdom. They're so clever. They have to be photographers, filmmakers, artists, think about what's interacting from a journalistic point of view. They're book reps. They're just advocates for the world of reading. And I thought, my goodness, I kind of got it, because it wasn't only that if I'm talking in a room with these people, when I go online and do it properly, I'm talking to millions of people who have the same interest.
Can I ask a question?
You may.
Because, as you know, I'm technologically challenged. What is the difference between that, then, and Instagram? Because on Instagram, you can still have hashtags. So you could have hashtag plants, or hashtag gardens, or hashtag authors. So why is TikTok different to Instagram?
And that's a very good question, actually one that I asked. And I was told on Instagram, it's much more visual. So Instagram is much more, and was originally all about picture posting.
Yes.
So it's pictures, it's photography, it's more of a sort of almost a one-shot thing was the intention, although Reels have changed that slightly. Yeah. TikTok is much more about interacting through videos, through slightly more original content, and slightly more detailed and layered, I would say. So there's the ability to add greater sounds, so voiceovers and music and effects and all kinds of weird and wonderful things, which just makes it a bit more in-depth, I suppose. I mean, I'm still no expert, but I am trying. I have a TikTok account, which is what is it? What is my TikTok account? Amanda Prowse Writes, I believe, is my TikTok account, if anyone's interested.
As W-R-I-T-E-S.
Yes.
As opposed to, go, Amanda Prowse Writes.
Bit of both, but definitely the W kind. So it's like your writing journey, where you write, all that kind of thing. But for me, it's just the breadth of possibilities, how many people you can reach. But I was incredibly sceptical, but yeah, delighted to see these really young, inspirational women doing the most incredible things. It blew my mind.
TikTok is the most downloaded app totally across the world.
The stats
it's
are
something like billions, isn't it? Billions.
And the numbers of seconds of footage that are viewed every day is in the billions. It's staggering, still slightly scary, and actually I'm not sure I've fully got a handle on it, but I'm learning and I'm enjoying the learning, which is really nice.
I'm afraid to say I am a terrible scroller.
Oh,
I literally, once I start, I can't stop. And I just scroll. And I might stop on the odd occasional thing. I've had to put Facebook right to the back of my pages of apps, because I cannot do that as well. And in fact, I've sort of fallen out of love with Facebook a bit. I use it for work, but I don't really use it for anything else. But if I were to have TikTok and have that ability to scroll with that as well, that would just take up so much time.
What do you scroll? What are you looking at?
I'm quite selective over the accounts I follow. And yes, they are very boring to anyone else, because they'll all be plants or flower growers. Quite useful seeing wedding florists, seeing what they're doing. Designers. I do follow a couple of garden designers who are so talented in Instagram. Be interesting to find out what they do on TikTok.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sort of see whether they have as big a presence on TikTok as they do on Instagram.
And also that their opportunity to do more, maybe slightly advanced posts and things that you might find even more interesting.
But TikTok got a bit of a bad reputation for me when people started doing dancing.
Yeah, but the beauty of it, I suppose, or the scary thing about it as well, is that it learns what you're watching and it will give you more of it. So if you're looking at the dancing, you'll get more dancing.
I know.
If you're looking at books, which is what I do, I follow all these different wonderful book accounts, and particularly follow the hashtag BookTok, because for me, that gives me direct access to my content that I want to see. I just get more and more books, and I'm sort of inundated with, pictures of people's studies and shelves, which I find fascinating.
Another question, technical question. So if, like on Instagram, you can straight away post it to your Facebook, if you do an Instagram post or a TikTok post, will it automatically go on the other?
You can
platforms?
share it to other apps. I don't really know how you do that. And I don't do that because I think it's two very distinct audiences.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, so I have some crossover in my following between Instagram and TikTok, but I kind of feel that people want one thing and people on another platform want a little bit of different things. So I'm trying to keep my posts different and distinct so that they are very much for that market.
You need to train me.
I will.
I need training.
You
now.
do. So Penny, first thing is when you need the loo, we're going to let you go inside. You don't have to go outside in the garden anymore. You can come in and use the bathroom.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
What, I don't have to do a wild garden week?
No, and if you manage it, you get a biscuit.
Can I just say, there are occasions. Very
I know what you're going to say.
No,
I know what you're going to say.
Very important because everybody out there should have a compost bin. Very important in your garden to have a compost bin.
Yes.
Everything that you cut back in your garden, you put into the compost bin.
Right.
I'm a great evangelistic person with regard to compost. Everyone should make compost. When you first start making compost and you build your bin and you put a little bit of compost in the bottom.
How are you building a bin? Is it a...
You can buy what's called a Dalek compost bin, which literally looks like a Dalek.
Hence the name.
Yes. And you put all your stuff in the top, and then once it starts to cook and it'll go down nice and quite quickly, and then you lift it up and then you can use everything that's in it and put it all back on your beds, and it's full of nutrition. Don't have to go to the garden centre and buy compost. Fantastic. Much, much better for your garden than buying it. Or you can build like a little U-shape from pallets or bits of wood.
That's what we've done, yeah.
Exactly. And then you pile it in, and like a cake, you mustn't put too much of one thing. So not too much grass, not too much compost. Nice sort of mixture of things. And anybody that wants a list of the things they can put in their compost, just ask at the Chit Chatters. But really weirdly, if you put the first little bit in the bottom of your compost bin, get a friendly male to wee in it. So, yes, you need to wee in the bottom of the compost bin, and then you continue to put all your stuff in the compost bin.
You're having a laugh?
No, I'm really not.
I see, this is where I think you might be winding me up, Penny.
No,
so that...
seriously, I promise this is the truth. And obviously, when the boys were little, I used to say, oh, Joel, I'm just starting this compost bin. Could you possibly just go and wee in the compost bin? And off he went after school. Anyway, I was thinking, this is odd. I'm so good at compost. Why isn't this compost working this time? It was all slimy and not very nice. It used to smell a bit. And I couldn't understand it.
Oh, he hadn't done a poo?
No, thank God. You know Joel too well. But what I didn't realise was every single day after school, he was going up to the compost bin and weeing in the compost bin every single day.
He was helping you out.
Acting like a toilet. You only have to do it once. At the beginning, once, because it acts as an activator to start the process and gets all the worms in there. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
I have a question.
Yes, I did it once.
Does it have to be a male wee?
No. But that was the thing. So I didn't have any boys around, and I'd started my compost.
Unusual for you.
So I thought, I can do this. I'll just sort of perch with my little feet either side.
I'm picturing. I'd rather I wasn't, but I'm picturing.
And I thought, Farmer only went by in his tractor.
And you were perched.
And I'm perched on top of the compost bin with my knickers down and everything.
Perching Penny, having a pee.
Yes, definitely.
That's how you got your new nickname.
So, going back to what we were talking about.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about me being... you were going to train me on TikTok.
I can try.
Yes, you can try. I'm still trying to train you with regard to the garden.
You are, but Penny, I'm doing great.
Well, I cannot wait to go and have a look today because things should really be getting going.
Tomato plants, pepper plants. I mean, literally, I don't even bother going to Tesco's anymore.
Oh.
I'm growing everything.
I did tell you, didn't I? The magic of watching seeds germinate, watching the plants grow. If you get one single pepper from your pepper plants, I'm not joking, it will be the best thing you have ever tasted.
I can't believe it's so thrilling.
Yes.
It shouldn't be, should it?
Why do you think I arrive every day with this big smile on my face?
Because you're seeing me.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But also because I've been out to water all my seedlings, all my plants.
Wheel
It's
my
thrilling.
compost and pick a pepper.
It is thrilling. It's the magic. It is magic.
Yeah, it
Get
is.
that little seed, pop it in the ground. Hey presto.
Do you know what I love is that anyone can do it. Because you need a windowsill or a window and a seed and an old plastic cup.
You don't need masses of equipment.
No.
You've proved that.
Yes, I have. I am your case study. But I find I'm saving things like the plastic troughs that horrifically berries and fruit come in with the holes in the bottom.
Yes.
And I'm using those. So
Yes.
I haven't actually bought anything.
The other thing, I know this sounds really crazy. You know now a lot of things come in a little paper carrier bag.
Yeah.
And the slightly better quality ones that are a little bit stiffer.
I know.
You can literally pop a few holes in the bottom of those, fill those halfway up with a bit of soil. Hey presto.
That's
You've
a
got
great
container.
idea. Never thought of that.
Yeah, it's great.
Invention,
Tomatoes,
isn't
really
it?
good
All
in
about
them.
invention. I'm loving
Because it
that.
only lasts for one season and then you can pop the whole thing into your compost bin.
That's wonderful. So our neighbour was saying that she's been growing, is it slow? She's making sloe gin.
Yeah, you tend to have sloes in hedges.
How do you say slow? Is it sloes?
Sloe. It's SLOE.
Oh, right, okay. So she's
Sloe.
making gin.
Yes, you can actually make, how can I put it, a liqueur.
A liqueur?
Liqueur.
Oh, no, don't say liqueur. That just reminds me, doesn't it, of you, of those...
Do you remember liqueur chocolates?
Oh, my God. They were always horrible dark chocolate and they always had cherry brandy in
I
them.
always used to feel so naughty when I used to steal one out of the box.
That would be
when I
because
was
you're
little.
stealing them, Penny.
Yeah, I'm
And
not very
taking
good at stealing.
alcohol
Yeah.
as a child.
But you can make damson gin, you can make rowan gin, all sorts of things that you can pick from the hedgerow.
I love that.
Not only sloes.
No, that's
Quince
marvellous.
gin apparently is the absolute best, but not many people have
What's a quince? It's like a plum, right?
It's like a
Oh.
pear. Well, similar.
Sorry.
It's a fruit.
I know that much, Pen.
They look a bit like a pear tree, but not many people grow them anymore.
Oh, okay.
So when you have a mature quince tree, people make jams and jellies and things from them, don't they?
Yeah.
Is that what you make mesembrillo?
Are you actually asking me as though I might know the answer to that?
The lovely paste that you have with cheese.
Oh,
Is
the
that-
figgy one.
Yes.
Oh.
I think that's made with quince.
It
isn't
might be.
Somebody
Yeah.
clever's going to
Someone
tell us.
clever and cheese affiliated
Yes,
is going to let
yes.
us know.
But anyway, you can do a lot of things with gin, but let's face
You
it.
can do a lot of things with gin.
But put sugar in gin, doesn't even matter if it's got a fruit in it. It's going to make it taste yummy.
So do you remember the first time you got drunk?
No.
No.
No, I really don't. I mean, I do remember the first time when I went into a pub underage.
I was
with
7.
some friends. With some friends. And I was sort of thinking, right, I've just got to act like I'm 18. It'll be fine. And I had on my platform shoes.
Threw
and
my car
vest,
keys
yes.
on the bar.
And I ordered a port and lemon.
Because you were 84.
Do you remember port and lemon?
I remember my nan having a pot. Oh, I'll have a port and lemon.
And Cinzano.
Oh, Cinzano was a great drink.
Oh.
And martini. But those sort of pre-mixed Cinzano and martini. And those amazing adverts with Leonard Rossiter and Joan Collins, wasn't
Yes,
it?
it
They
was.
were wonderful.
And then didn't Lorraine somebody or other?
Yes, she did. Lorraine, lovely Lorraine, Luton Airport.
Luton Airport,
That was
yes,
it. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Gosh, that was... See, we don't get alcohol adverts now, do we, of course?
No.
That's a real thing from our past.
Probably good.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, I don't drink, so it's weird for me, but I... and I'm not anti-drink. You know, I've got a bar full of the stuff, gathering dust on the side. I feel like I don't need to apologise anymore for the dog snoring in the background. I feel like our listeners are so used to it that it's almost like our background music. And if they weren't snoring, they'd be like, oh, where are the dogs?
And I just want people to know it's not me making those noises.
I think you can say that till the cows come home, Pen. Literally.
There's probably
But,
going to be cows mooing in the background now.
There will be. But I remember the first time I got drunk, I was 14, very, very young. And my mum and dad said, oh, we're going out, we're going around the neighbours. You used to go to your neighbours,
Yes.
all go out around the neighbours. And I think they do a light buffet. Everyone takes something. You know, my mum used to take probably
American suppers.
is that what it's called? I think she used to take, obviously, cheesy pineapple on sticks. shoved into an orange covered in tin foil.
Looking like a hedgehog.
Exactly. She was never been very sophisticated. So, yeah, they were going to one of those suppers, so within reach, basically, of where we were. And I was at home with my mini brothers, and Mum said, oh, do you mind babysitting? And I went, oh, no, that's fine. You know, I was always babysitting. Can my friend Barbara come over? And she went, yeah, that's fine. So Barbara came over to sit with me. And Barbara's mum, or someone in Barbara's household, I don't want to cast aspersions, had either said or Barbara had helped herself to a bottle of plonk. And she said, I've got us a bottle of sparkling wine. It may have been Asti. I'm thinking somewhere around that, you know, Asti mark. And I said, oh, yeah, let's have a bit of Asti. Anyway, we nicked this bottle very, very quickly, like it was, you know, Lucozade, because we didn't know you were supposed to sip it. And the idea was just to drink as much as we could before my parents got home. So we drank a bottle of Asti between us. And I can remember it didn't have much effect. I remember thinking, well, this is a bit disappointing. I thought I'd be giddily dancing, you know, around our handbags. We were in Essex. And then I said, oh, actually, my mum and dad have got booze as well. And I opened up, we used to have a room divider. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And a cupboard at the bottom with their, you know, their cherry brandy in it, their old liqueurs. And I think a ginger wine for me nan in case she needed settling, you know, one of them. And I said, oh, I'm sure there's booze in here. And I found something, and I still don't know what it was, but it might have been something peachy and schnapsy, which even just saying it, as you can see, I'm almost gagging. And so we had a glug of that each. And then I don't remember anything else.
No.
We went from being sober and giddy and sort of laughing a little bit to being blackout drunk. My parents came home, and this is absolutely true. We had a big circular rug, you know, in front of our sort of leather, I always say MI5 furniture, not MI5.
MFI.
That's it, MFI. MI5. I can't tell you about it. It's secret furniture, Pen. And we had, in front of the sort of leathery sofa, there was this big rug. And I was laying with my hands out, like in a crucifix, face down on the rug. And apparently my mum came in and went, Mandy, what are you doing? It was about 8:30, you know, it wasn't like midnight. And apparently she lifted up my head and I went, wee wee. And I started laughing. And she said, are you drunk? And I just kept going, wee wee. I found it the funniest thing I'd ever said. I still do in some ways. And then she said, where's Barbara? I was like, I didn't know where Barbara was. Barbara who? Barbara was being sick.
Oh, no.
I won't go into details. Barbara thought she was in the bathroom. She wasn't. She was in our coat cupboard. Oh, God. It was just horrific. I mean, my parents, poor things, you know, coming back to that. So that put me off for quite a while, I have to say.
I mean, it sounds very much like a Saturday night you and I have had a few weeks ago, if I'm totally honest.
But it's really funny. I just, now I feel I don't want to get like that. Not that I, you know, do, but also the whole effect of alcohol. I used to be able to handle it. Is it an age thing?
I now would hate the idea of being out of control.
Yeah.
That to me is enough to make me stop and not have another glass of wine. I mean, I think as well it's quite a trend now. I think a lot of people are realising how bad alcohol is for you. And I'm not, you know, decrying the fact that people like to have a glass of wine. I love to have a glass of nice wine.
Absolutely. And if it's a thing that helps you relax or puts you in a social mood or it's your treat, and that's very different, isn't it, to necking a bottle secretly?
Yeah, totally. But I don't like how it makes me feel the next day.
Has it always made you feel like that?
No, definitely as I've got older. I mean, I used to be able to drink half a bottle of wine and then get up in the morning and I couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah.
But now I literally cannot get up in the morning if I've had any sort of amount of wine.
Yeah.
But that's not to say I don't enjoy a glass of wine. I do.
I can bear witness to that. I can witness that. So it's really funny. I wrote a book called Another Love, which is about an academic woman, a smart lady who lives in Bristol, funny enough. She has everything from the outside looking in, a beautiful home, a lovely marriage, a great family. And it's her sort of descent into alcoholism. And she starts off with having the odd glass after work and the odd glass because, when she was at uni, she started because it made her feel more confident and more sexy. And we can all relate to that, I think. And then she just started drinking more and more. And then before she knows it, she needs that drink to feel confident or even go and face the world. And then it's not just a glass a night, a bottle a night, 2 bottles, until she's absolutely addicted. And it is the most insidious illness. And I learnt so much about it. And I think 2 things really stood out to me. One was the idea that it's just such an acceptable drug.
Yeah.
Such an acceptable drug.
And people don't think anything of sitting around a table and, drinking a lot.
Yeah. And yet if I said, let's all take some drugs, it would be like, oh my gosh, that would be horrific or scary or whatever.
But that's no doubt, you were saying about it making you feel better, more confident, all of that. That's the same sort of feeling that we all want when we wear nice things. We want to feel good. We want to wear makeup. We want to, going back to us having the routine of cleansing our face because we think that makes us look better. And alcohol is just another prop.
Oh, totally. I did a little bit of research and I spoke to quite a few women because it was a book about a woman. It was from her perspective. And I found it, I still remember it now, Pen. I mean, that book I wrote a few years ago now, maybe 6 years ago, maybe, I don't know. But it stayed with me, just the way that it had a grip on them. And they were utterly in its thrall. They were totally addicted, and how it just ruined relationships, families, how people were losing things, the debt. It really was very jarring for me. And I think in no small part, my decision to just not really have a drink because, I always say I've got an addictive personality, but that's not what I mean, is it? I have an addiction type personality. So as you know, I've battled with my weight through overeating. Eating a whole packet of Hobnobs is one thing. Drinking a whole bottle of vodka is quite another. And I could see that would be an avenue that my mind, my body and my tendencies might push me towards. So it's just easier if I don't.
I think for me, it's more about the social aspect of it. But I think we're getting so much better now. If you go to a dinner party, if you go out and you say, oh no, can I just get some soda water, sparkling water, Coke, whatever you're going to have, it's more acceptable now. Whereas in years past, you'd say, go to a dinner party and say, oh, can I just get an orange juice? And they go, oh, don't be silly. Oh,
don't be boring. I used to get that a lot.
Why aren't you drinking? And it was really, you were almost seen as very boring, as you were saying.
Yeah.
Bit of a party pooper.
Absolutely. I know there's certainly been a couple of cases where I've not been invited because it's going to be a heavy drinking event and they know I won't do it. And I have been, that's what I tell myself, maybe I'm just not their friend, but maybe I'm very dull. But I think, no, a lot of people think, and I kind of understand it, because I think if I wanted to eat, I don't know, let's say I wanted to indulge in a fantastic, fatty, sugar-laden Chinese takeaway. And you said, that's great, let's eat together, but I'm just going to have a Ryvita.
Yeah.
I'd feel, oh God, I'd feel really bad.
You'd feel bad.
So I kind of understand the sort of idea behind that. But it's a shame, isn't it?
It is, but I think that's become more acceptable now.
Yeah.
And when we go out quite often, of 4 of us, 3 of us might be just drinking, tea.
Yeah.
It isn't as, I was going to say frowned upon, but you know what I mean?
But it kind of was in a way.
It's very, very odd. And the awful thing is, of course, way back in the 50s and 60s, that was how smoking was.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody used to smoke.
Everyone,
especially women.
Yeah.
It was seen as very sexy.
Well, it stopped you eating as well.
Well,
that was the thing.
And I think that's happening with alcohol now. I really do.
My kids find it amazing when I tell them that I used to get a bus or a tube to school and everyone was smoking.
Yes.
And we had wooden floors, wooden escalators, and everyone's smoking on the tube. And, that fug of cigarette smoke on the top bus and arriving at school with my hair and my blazer absolutely reeking.
At home, so both my parents used to smoke. Mum used to smoke a lot of cigarettes. Dad used to smoke a pipe. And
I love a pipe pen. The smell of a pipe.
And always we'd buy him pipe cleaners for his birthday and Christmas in various shades of pink and orange and all sorts. But we had... At Christmas, we had an artificial Christmas tree. It was obviously some sort of fashionable thing because it was a white artificial Christmas tree that came in 3 sections.
Oh, yeah.
Every year we would unfold the tree branches.
I'm picturing that.
Put it all back up. And the top third of it was literally brown.
Oh my gosh. What, with nicotine?
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, it's crazy, isn't it now?
You used to see it in houses, didn't you? Like a brown ceiling.
Yeah.
And I can remember that sort of, and it was sort of a sticky residue. Everyone I knew smoked. Every adult smoked. And I couldn't wait to try it. I remember thinking I was going to be really cool and very fashionable once I tried it. And I remember where I tried it, actually. I'd gone on holiday with my friend and her cousins. We'd gone to Cheshire on holiday, all the way up the motorway. And it was lovely, actually, that holiday. Went to Anglesey for the first time and I loved it. But we started off in Cheshire. What do you call it? A dual centre holiday.
Yes.
Cheshire, just off the motorway, and then Anglesey. And I can remember her cousins were smoking. They were probably a couple of years older than us. And they said, do you want to try it? And I was like, yeah, I'll try it, And oh my gosh. I remember doing it once and breathing it in and thinking, why would anyone do this? What is it all about?
I know.
And I remember very specifically, she said, well, you've got to keep going and get past that. And I'm thinking, I'd rather not. I'd rather not get past it. It's horrible.
Weirdly, I mean, I think because our parents smoked, I never, ever touched a cigarette, ever, until I was living in Spain. And in Spain, they had what was called black tobacco. So, and it had this incredible smell. I know we've talked about that before. They were called ducados. And I just loved it. It was so sexy. Oh my gosh. There was a boy that I absolutely adored that I used to go to fiestas with. And he would be there, literally had this cigarette dangling from his lips the entire time.
Kind of James Dean style.
Yes.
I'm picturing that pen.
And I tried it. Oh my goodness me. I thought my head was going to fly off my body. It
funny.
was horrendous. But again,
did you style it out or did you actually
No,
know?
I just didn't. I just couldn't. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. And weirdly now, I don't know about you, but I can smell somebody smoking a cigarette, probably from a quarter of a mile away.
Oh yeah, I can.
I can smell it on the air.
So here's a weird one for you. We are a house of non-smokers. We don't have neighbours. We're in the middle of pretty much nowhere.
Are you going to tell me something spooky Monduki
I
again?
am. This is really weird. So very occasionally, I walk through an area and I smell cigarette smoke so strongly. I know I mentioned that a few weeks ago, but honestly, it happened to me quite recently and it reminded me that, yeah, this isn't in my mind. And it's not just like a faint whiff as though it's coming from an old piece of furniture or, you dig out an old jumper and you think, oh, actually, someone's had a fag in this. It's not that. It is like I am walking through someone who has blown cigarette smoke in my face.
See? Spooky Monduki.
It's weird, eh?
You are weird.
Yeah, I know, but it's why we're friends, right? If anyone listening has had any spooky experiences, either with smells of an interesting nature or anything, I'm fascinated by it. Do let us know.
Yes, please do. We are getting some lovely, lovely messages. And a few weeks ago, we talked about woods and trees and woodland. And it's surprising how many people find woods and trees very emotional and evocative of their childhood. And it was so lovely reading those messages. So thank you very much to everybody.
It really was. It means a lot. So thank you so much. And thank you for listening to us again today. Another episode that feels to have whizzed by, Pen.
It has.
Always does, eh?
I know.
I hope it does for our listeners too. But thank you so much for joining us. Keep an eye out for our next episode next Friday, dropping wherever you get your podcasts. Tell your friends, follow us, and keep up to date on our Insta page, which is
at the Chit Chatters. Send us a message. Tell us what you think. Join us.
Yeah, please do. And thanks to Mace Wilkins, our producer. Mace, we call him Mace. You can call him Mason. I mean, he hasn't said everyone could call him Mace, has he?
No.
He's like, my name's Mason.
We're just like that.
We're just
so
like
close.
We're using fingers crossed to show that sign. But as it's a podcast, you can't see that. But yeah, thank you, Mason, for everything. Until next time, take care.